If it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
Andrew. Andrew Pollack walking in. We're on camera here, too. Andrew, come sit next to me if you'd be so kind, sir. Honored to have you here, man. You got through the traffic all right?
Remind me again why I don't live in New York no more.
Yeah. Love you, man.
What's up, buddy? Thanks,
It's great to have you here.
Yeah, man.
We are honored to have you here. And I know it's kind of, Andrew was texting me along the way. We're on the air live now, man. Into your microphone, you got a camera right there. All right. And you were kind of, it's New York, so it's not like this down where you are now, right?
You got to leave 2 hours before, right?
I said the worst, it's getting worse and worse, man.
I don't know how people do it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Hey, you know what? You look good. If
Thanks,
that's okay
man.
to tell you that. What you've been through, I love you, man. I tell you, I feel so much respect for you, what you went through, how courageous you are, how you really use Meadow as this leading force to answer the questions. You have the answers, man.
Yeah, I got them. And it's not easy, you know. I wake up with it every day, Joe. I think of my daughter, and even now, you know, I'm just, I get emotional. I think, you know, that's what keeps me going, you know. I see these pictures in my head of my daughter every day, man, and there's nothing that I'm going to stop. You know, nothing could stop me right now. I'm on a mission to try and help all these other kids because it keeps happening. But it's simple, man. You know, it's an easy fix.
And by the way, thanks for texting a picture of Meadow. That was... You know, I talk about my kids all the time. Everybody say, Joy, tell me your kids, I'm with my kids. And then I can't, and I don't want to lean into it, but sometimes I have to. And I could call you my dear friend if I may, with respect. You got to lean into it. And on these airwaves, you got to get across to understand your pain so they make the change.
That's it. It's not it. You know what I mean? It's something simple, and I had it. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, I'm kind of... when I woke up and I saw that the shooting in Texas, my heart sank into my stomach that day, and my heart was like broken again, you know. But then as the day went on, I started to get angry because I got, you know, I don't tell many people this though. I get kind of angry because nothing happened after Columbine. You know, I think people could have done more, and then it happened again in Sandy Hook. I think more could have been done. And, you know, and it happened in Virginia Tech. I think more could have been done. And I'm angry that it hasn't been done after those shootings. And then look what happens. It happens again after my daughter's murder. And I feel like I'm kind of responsible because, you know what I mean? I need to get more done. So it's simple, okay? I'm tired of the politicians,
Don't for a second. Don't blame.
I don't blame it all, but I got to do more than the average person.
But
that's
you
how
are.
I feel.
You're the lead. But by the way, when I see what happens in Santa Fe, I look to you, Andrew Pollack. I look to you as a leader, as a leading the charge against and making sense and having solutions with the program that you put forth. So, but I know you feel like you want to do more, and God bless you, and we feel you for that. But I don't even want to hear responsibility or anything like that.
Well,
you may, by the way. Father's proud everywhere. When you stood up next to the President of the United States, and everybody's going, and they're crying, you stood up. I went like this. I told Frankie Five Bros, there's my man right there. There's my man. He's the father. You make fathers proud everywhere, man.
Yeah, well, they killed my kid, Joe, so I don't care who's in front of me. You know what I mean? It don't matter if it's the president. It doesn't matter. They're gonna get what's on my mind. You know, that's the way I speak. I got no filter.
Just to make people understand, because it will go on, and the next one will happen. You get the message. You're home. You heard Meadow. You didn't see she didn't.
No, I went there on a mission, and I'm still on a mission. I'm leaving actually today. I'm going out to Texas after I leave.
You're gonna go down.
I'm going to Texas. I'm gonna give these people. I'm gonna help them, and I'm gonna give the politicians a piece of my mind when I get out there and tell them what they need to do. Because, like I said, I met all the way from the president down. I started at the president, and I learned a lot. I met the vice president, the chief of staff, all his cabinet members, and you know what? It starts. What I've learned after my daughter's death is that it starts in your community. If you want to make a difference, it's the school board. Don't look at up all the way to Washington. Communities. If you have a child at the school, you got to get involved with the PTA and your community and the school board. They're the ones that have the control over the safety in the schools. So don't look to Washington. Look where you live, what you could do, and that's the answer. Because they control everything. They control the money for the schools, and they could get the metal detectors. They could get the security. So it's up to those people.
Yeah. So, but that's the hardest thing of all, isn't it? The local.
We're rocking in Broward. You know what I'm saying? We
yeah.
have in August. I've been concentrating. There's 5 seats coming up in Broward County. And they're messed up over there, so we're going to replace them.
Whoa,
we
man.
got a superintendent that doesn't see that there's a problem with the leniency programs in Broward, and he's from Chicago, and I picture I'd like to buy him a one-way ticket back to Chicago, and that's what I'm going to do. So 2 of the families they're running that have lost their kids. 2 families are running, another person that I'm endorsing, and that's how you do it. You know, we're going to show the rest of the country when you don't like what's going on in your school, you vote them out. And you put in the people that are going to do the right thing for the kids.
Yeah. So what do you do? What would you do with your program? What would you do, for example, in Santa Fe? How's this guy there half an hour? And they got armed school officers there.
It just shows you, like in any building, you know, when you got to have metal detectors. That's it. You know, so my message is to everybody, you know, they got 2 months now. We're on summer break, right? I don't know how long it is anymore.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So summer break's coming up. The school, give this chance. Get in touch with your principals, the school board, administration, but mostly the school board, and find out what the change is going to be when your kids go back to school. If they don't have metal detectors, you keep your kids home. What's more important, Joe? Your kids staying home or learning some algebra or something like that? You know what I mean? You want to see your kids? You trust me. If the people keep their kids home, they're going to get those metal detectors at the school faster than ever. You know what I mean?
Do they come to you in Broward, Andrew, and do they say, look, we made a mistake, the law enforcement made a mistake, and you're suing that deputy sheriff, right? You're going right after this guy who didn't show up.
I just want to expose him. You know, he got an $8,700 a month pension now started for not doing his job, for letting 7 people die.
And I get it. Forgive me for leaning on it, man, but what you went through, I mean, you think that there was time for that guy to run up to the 2nd floor, it was?
Third floor. He was at this deputy was at the 1st floor when some of the shooting started. He heard shots. Actually, one of the heroes, he was there for him. He heard the shots that killed Aaron Feiss. He went in unarmed just to coach. He knew what was going on. He went in unarmed. He was murdered. And he had the opportunity then to go in, and he could have saved the whole 3rd floor, this deputy. But he went and hid behind a wall. And then not only does he hide behind the wall, Joe, he tells the other officers that are pulling up to take cover and not go in. So he does, you know what I mean? He does that, and then he lies in the investigation. You know, he like I tell people, my daughter was on the 3rd floor. She was shielding a freshman. So while she was shielding a freshman, praying that someone was going to come and save her, this deputy was hiding behind some cement wall at the school.
So this may be the way to do it with lawsuits, because there's no consequences for these people who messed up. And
nobody's accountable.
And what's this guy doing? What's this creep shooter doing out? What is he doing out? They should have got him last year.
Just so everybody knows, like, you know, in Broward, they're talking a lot about gun laws. The gun laws were in place for this. I call him 1958. That's his prison ID number. I don't call him by his name.
Yeah, good for you.
So the police were the sheriff was at his house almost 40 times. So I tell people, any cop out there that's like me or anyone that would be a cop, you go there by the 3rd time, you're going to be beating this kid with a bat, right? So they were almost there 30-something times. They never arrested him. So if he was arrested once out of those 30-something times, he wouldn't have been able to buy a rifle. And he's a psychopath. Like, he did stuff at the school, like he was threatening people's lives, carving swastikas into the table in the lunchroom. Just doing all type of crazy stuff. So if they would have Baker acted this kid once, he never would have been able to buy a rifle. So the gun laws were in place. They just weren't. They just didn't do anything to people. They were just incompetent.
And what's the superintendent? What is his answer to all this?
The problem I had with the guy was he denied. You know, they have this promise program, leniency program. That gives people break after break after break, like 5 misdemeanors per school year, without having a problem with law enforcement, which is. You know, everybody wants a kid to have at least one chance. So it's his promise program that he calls. You know, it's a leniency program not to arrest people. That's what I call it. So he denied at first that this kid was in this program. You know, he said 1958 was never in the Promise program, but then he said while in high school. So once he said while in high school, I knew that. So what? So he wasn't in it in high school. He was probably in it in middle school. So 2 months later, it came out he was in it in middle school, and he never admitted to any problem with the program. He never said let's reevaluate the program. He was just deceiving. So he just deceived the whole county, and he still has his job. So the only way to do anything is just
I love
flip the school board.
I love about you, first of all, your passion. Second of all, you stay controlled. You stay controlled,
easy,
and because I know, because you're a tough guy, I could see it, man.
Yeah,
You look at
it's
Long
not easy.
Island, huh?
Yeah.
New York guy. You're back in the territory. You want to rip this guy's throat out.
I'd want to. There's not a day that don't go by that I'd like to chop him up into little pieces. To tell you the truth, he did that to my kid, and if people listen out there, they got a problem with it, and that's just. I'm just telling you what's in my head. Ain't a day that goes by that I think about that.
And I got to drive this home, and please forgive me. I want to thank Paul Goldenberg. I know Paul.
Yeah, I was
Goldenberg.
with him yesterday. He came to visit me.
Homeland Security loves you. He gets me on the
Good
phone.
guy.
You want to talk to Andy Pollack? I go, are you kidding me? We've been talking in the studio here with the boys. I've been saying, get Andy on the show. When you found out to walk through the identification, what you went through, and such a dedicated father, give us an inkling of that. So in the name of Jesus Christ, people understand how serious this is.
It was. Could you imagine? I had to go after they murdered my kid. I actually had to go to the cemetery, and I had to pick a spot, man. That was like, that freaking killed me, man. I had to, I'm walking around this cemetery going, where the hell am I going to put my daughter now, So that was tough for me. And then now I just had to go, I just went and bought 2 more spots so no one could be next to her. So if you could imagine doing that. So that's why I'm so passionate and upset I get when other parents, now there's 10 more parents in Santa Fe that are going to have to be like I am.
Yeah.
So, your life's done. Once you bury a kid, I lost a lot of my life, and that's why I'm focused on this. And we all got to just, as Americans, we love our country, and I love my country. I'm doing it for my country and my daughter. We just need these metal detectors at the schools, simple entries, and metal detectors and armed security like they have at the courthouse. Like why is a stenographer, why is her life, a stenographer's life, more important than a teacher's life? You can't shoot a stenographer. They're not doing active shooter drills. The stenographer's not jumping behind the red tape by the wall. Go to the red behind the red tape and in the room and hide behind the wall. The judge doesn't do that. So why, as Americans, are we going to accept that for our kids doing that?
It was so brilliant and so riveting and searing when you said in front of the president, hey, everybody went to the Department of Education and there were armed guards all around. All the
it got worse, man. There was one in the elevator, man. That's what killed me. I got an armed guard in the elevator that's pushing the button for me, but we can't protect our kids. Like I said, you go to the airport, they make you take your shoes off. They're patting down old ladies. You can't take a bottled water anymore, but you could walk into a school with a rifle. We just got to have enough is enough, and leave the kids home until there's a metal detector at the school. That's it.
And to be clear, get involved in politics. Take out the local school board.
That's it. You got to get involved. Parents need to get involved with the PTA, PTO, and see who's in the school board, and make sure you don't have these leniency policies that people brought in for coddling these kids. I don't agree on it, and kids need to be held accountable. We all want, you give them 1 or 2 chances, it's fine, but 4 or 5 chances, they don't. What are they going to learn from that?
Yeah, keep the fight. Anything we could do, Andrew. You're an inspiration. Man. You're a great father, and you're carrying on Meadows' legacy. In a stellar fashion, my friend.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm going to leave now. I'm going to go out to Santa Fe. I have some meetings set up. I'm going to go help the families however way I can, and I'll attend some funerals because, when something like this happens, I know how they feel. No one else really knows how. So, and it happened again. And you know what? Today, I don't even know what day it is, but there's schools open where anyone could just walk in today again. So it's not going to surprise me if it happens again. We need the metal detectors and the entry points, Joe.
You're a true American hero, Andrew Pollack.
Thanks, buddy.
God bless you, man.
Yep.
Thanks for honoring us with your presence this morning.
Oh, anytime, man.
In the
Anytime.
memory
I'll be
of Meadow.
back soon.
Anytime, man.
Yeah,
Anytime.
or you
come back.
call me whenever you want to know something. Give me a call.
Thanks, Andy. God bless
buddy.
you. God bless you.
Everybody knows this guy. Now, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.